Post details an elderly, egotistical president shielded from reality by a slavish coterie of loyalists. Never said that word before. So ailing, mendacious, egotistical, and that's from media outlets that spent 4 years smooching Biden's wrinkly ass. They were so far up his butt, I'm surprised they didn't diagnose the cancer.
Greg Gutfeld put on an amazing comedy show aimed directly at former President Joe Biden, making fun of every mistake, confused moment, and mixed-up comment from his time in office, with extra drama. From walking off in the wrong direction on stage to those weird handshakes in the air that left everyone confused, Gutfeld turned Biden's most puzzling moments into a powerful and unforgettable comedy roast that had people shocked and laughing at the same time. With no written jokes to read from, no computer help, and no friendly news reporters to protect him, Biden was completely shown under Gutfeld's bright spotlight. If anyone thought late-night comedy shows had become boring, this incredible performance proved them wrong. Gutfeld brought back the excitement with one of the funniest and most wild Biden comedy shows ever witnessed.
President Biden boasting about how you should be thanking him this Thanksgiving.
Well, this past week, as Americans gathered around their own kitchen tables for Thanksgiving dinner, that was our goal, to give them a little more breathing room. From turkey to air travel to tank of gas.
Greg Gutfeld walked onto the stage with comedy so clever it felt like a sword made of pure jokes, cutting through the air with amazing skill. His target stood there with a confused smile and wandering eyes. It was Joe Biden, basically the human form of a broken computer screen. Gutfeld didn't start slowly or gently work into the funny parts. He jumped right in, describing Biden not as a strong leader, but as a carefully guided mascot for ideas that even his own helpers can't seem to explain properly. Every joke hit perfectly, leaving the audience amazed at how brave and powerful the comedy performance became.
It's a train wreck of a fact check. Yes, Reuters invites hilarity by fact-checking obvious parody, telling its readers no such luck. Biden doesn't really chase the ice cream truck. So it's no secret the big guy enjoys his ice cream. That's just one of the reasons why Dr. Jill calls him Mr. Soft.
Greg made a joke that the Biden presidency doesn't feel like a normal government at all. It plays out more like one long senior citizen moment that somehow touches the entire planet at once. He compared Biden to that older family member who gets lost in his own house, but still promises he's totally ready to drive everyone across the entire country with confidence that makes everybody worried. It's not that Joe doesn't know what's happening. It's that he thinks he completely gets it. And that thinking turns every situation into a tougher problem than it needs to be. Gutfeld mentioned how Biden can discuss fixing money problems while looking like someone desperately trying to remember where he put his fake teeth. And the audience couldn't stop laughing at how true the picture seemed.
Guy's big ad buy comes one day before Robert Hur will testify about his report claiming that Joe is an elderly man with a poor memory. Biden will be taking his angry man shtick on tour and hit 3 swing states this week. Over the weekend, he gave us a preview of what senile moments you can expect.
Greg had a wonderful time making fun of Biden's speeches, turning each one into a moment of crazy humor that people couldn't look away from. He joked that listening to Joe talk is like watching someone try to put together furniture from a box without the directions, without their reading glasses, and without the slightest clue of what the finished thing should look like. Biden will begin strong with a thought about rising prices, only to wander into a random story about a corn farm in Delaware that nobody brought up or expected. The words are technically there, but they're twisted together like a messy ball of Christmas lights tossed into a blender, leaving everyone confused about where the sentence is actually going. Half the time, it feels like someone hit the random button on a music playlist, filled with political phrases mixed with restaurant stories from 50 years ago.
We speak. He's actually lobbying Baskins and Robbins to make a flavor based on little girl shampoo. Although, when Joe says sprinkles, it means call the urologist.
And those stops, those memorable, legendary Biden stops in his sentences, Greg absolutely destroyed them with dramatic humor that made the crowd burst into laughter. He said, watching Joe pause in the middle of talking feels like staring at a real-life loading circle where you're not sure if he's going to finish his idea, fall asleep, or suddenly continue like a government machine downloading a new program. Sometimes Biden leans in close and whispers, as if he's about to tell a secret government plan. And other times he suddenly yells out a random word with the power of someone taken over by a word book ghost. The mystery keeps everyone nervous every single time, making each speech into a guessing game of what might happen next.
Joe raided Mar-a-Lago with the feds. Now he gets a taste of his own meds. That's good. Stop it! You're biting into the time. The White House admits that more classified documents were found, this time at one of Biden's homes in Delaware and in his garage. But it's cool, man, because that garage was totally locked.
Gutfeld went completely wild on Biden's leadership approach, joking that picking him was like choosing a moving computer screensaver as president. It floats around, seems busy from far away, but does absolutely nothing while everyone acts like it's doing important work. Greg described Biden as the boss of total confusion, where the biggest risk isn't another country, but whether he remembers which door goes to the Oval Office. He joked that Biden gives off the feeling of someone who walks into a kitchen and immediately forgets why he went there. Except now those moments happen while he's signing huge government papers on the same exact day. Greg laughed that under Joe's leadership, you basically need a small bank loan just to buy eggs and a money expert to fill your car with gas, turning regular shopping trips into dramatic adventures. And when Biden proudly says the economy is doing great, Gutfeld said it feels like a magic performer insisting the bunny is still in the hat while it's clearly jumping away behind him. Greg even made fun of Biden's constant shows of caring, joking that Joe seems to believe that squinting hard and nodding seriously are the same as actually fixing real problems in America.
Pennsylvania, I have a message for you. Send me to Congress that I can support this right, and I promise you, we take back Congress, we will restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land.
Biden could show America his razor-sharp mind by debating Donald Trump, but so far, he refuses to commit.
Mr. President, will you commit to a debate with former President Trump?
It depends on his behavior.
Greg didn't slow down for even a second. He joked that Biden's favorite answer for increasing crime, messy borders, and failing schools is to show up at a town meeting, mumble something that sounds nice but means nothing, and then walk off stage like a father who lost his family at a busy fair. He compared Biden's leadership to putting a lava lamp in control of the country's electricity. It glows and moves around in a pretty way, but it can't actually do anything helpful, and eventually creates a giant mess when it gets too hot. Then Greg brought up some of Biden's weirdest public moments, the invisible handshakes, the talks with nobody there, and the times where he suddenly stops moving like someone hit pause on a TV remote. Greg joked that we're only one news conference away from Biden saying hello to a potted plant and thinking it's a foreign diplomat. And the crowd exploded with laughter at the mental picture. He said, "This isn't actual leadership. It feels more like a taxpayer-funded remake of the movie Weekend at Bernie's, but with podiums, microphones, and constant staff freaking out. And the only thing truly being built back better," Greg laughed, "is the White House press team's emergency plan every time Joe wanders away from what he's supposed to say. And that happens almost every time he opens his mouth to talk."
The cold, sweet treat is perfect for cooling down after a long, hot, sweaty day of aimlessly drifting around the White House like a tumbleweed. But now Reuters, which claims to be a news outlet, is getting mocked online for actually fact-checking a clearly edited video of Biden getting distracted by an ice cream truck and walking out of frame.
When it came to dealing with other countries, Greg didn't hold anything back for even a moment. He made fun of Biden as the type of person who tries to calm a dangerous wild beast by reading it a peaceful bedtime story, completely missing how serious the situation really is. Whether Biden is handling tense world fights or talking about major agreements, Greg said he shows the same effort as a tired substitute teacher who lost the day's lesson and just wants everyone to stay quiet until school ends. He pointed out that world leaders don't exactly fear Biden at all. They watch him like a strange science experiment, waiting for the moment someone else quietly takes over while he drifts off into a slow head nod. Then Greg attacked the border problem, calling it the greatest magic disappearing act in modern politics. Not because the issue went away, but because Biden pretends it doesn't exist while it happens live every single day. Gutfeld laughed that with Biden, the idea of safety feels more like a mood than an actual plan, shifting around with no real structure or goal. The borders stay completely open, the problems keep getting bigger, and Biden seems more interested in eating oatmeal, while his helpers try to tell the country that everything is somehow okay. Meanwhile, regular Americans look at huge bills like players on a stressful TV game show, guess the cost, pay even more, and hope the power stays on long enough to make it through the month.
She's going to win.
Joe Biden was the ultimate catfish.
Yeah.
We were all online being told, oh, this is a congenial centrist. A swipe right? I don't know how to do dating apps.
Yeah.
But anyway, then you find out it's not him at all, but some guy in a bathrobe smoking meth.
Yeah.
God, how many times does that happen to me, huh?
Then Greg moved on to making fun of Biden's endless image changes, laughing that trying to improve his public look is like attempting to shine a cloud. No matter how hard they work, nothing actually gets better. Every once in a while, Biden appears wearing those classic cool sunglasses, as if putting them on immediately erases the confusion, the stumbles, and the weird choices that pile up week after week. Greg joked that if cool shades and an awkward run down a hallway were enough to fix the whole country, Biden would have been celebrated as one of America's founding fathers by now. Instead, he ends up looking like someone who ran away from a retirement home while looking for an outdoor music concert from decades ago. Greg also attacked the student loan mess, calling Biden's efforts pure money theater. One moment he's a hero promising help, and the next he's getting stopped by courts, facts, and reality while pretending money will magically show up from nowhere. Gutfeld joked that Biden's money plan feels like playing the board game Monopoly after borrowing against every property and forgetting how the game even works. He argued that spending 40 years in politics isn't proof of being good at it. It just means Biden stayed near the building while everyone else actually accomplished things.
Alzer and Chancellor Farabee, thank you for joining us as well. And for families across the country, the school year.
That's hilarious. I would say the footage does seem manipulated. There's no way Joe can move that fast. But give him a break, he's got oil cancer.
Then came Biden's big effort for unity, or at least the version of unity he keeps mentioning, even while criticizing huge parts of the country at the same time. Greg joked that it's like inviting someone to your house for dinner and immediately making fun of their outfit, their children, and their vehicle before they even sit down at the table. You can't claim to heal the nation while scolding half of it in the same breath. And Greg made that point with sharp comedy style that had the audience roaring with laughter. He laughed that the only thing Biden has successfully united is the entire country's desire to stop hearing political commercials forever just to get back a moment of quiet. Finishing up the comedy bit, Greg pointed out that Biden might be the only president who can fall asleep in a meeting and still get praised for looking peaceful and calm, as if that's some amazing accomplishment. Greg said we're living in a time where even Biden blinking in the right direction gets celebrated as improvement. And that's not real leadership. That's the whole nation picking denial just to survive the day. He joked that America didn't end up with a president. What it got instead feels more like a long voicemail recording left by someone who forgot they already hit record, and now everyone's stuck listening to it going on and on.
Justice Department's appointing a special counsel to review whether Biden mishandled classified info. So how is the White House dealing with this? Come on, just got to trust the process.
This is an ongoing process under the review of the Department of Justice. We're going to respect the process, and we're just going to allow the process to continue. Let the process continue. It's an ongoing process. I am genuinely saying to you, there is an ongoing process. This is all part of the Justice Department process, as part of that process. And I said because there was a process of justice throughout this process, we just laid out the process that was taken, and that is the process.
Yeah.
Gutfeld turned up the heat even more, saying, Biden's presidency feels like being stuck in a long airport waiting area that nobody wanted. Nothing works correctly. Everyone is frustrated. And all you can do is wait for it to finally finish while the announcements keep getting more confusing. He compared Biden's policy news to flight delay messages, always given with a fake smile, followed by pure chaos that leaves everyone rushing around for answers. One day, Biden is promoting a clean energy event, and the next he's whispering about unity while ignoring a major train crash happening right in front of the whole country. Greg joked that the White House has become a live-action version of the movie Weekend at Bernie's. But instead of beaches and sunglasses, it's filled with guards, panicking staff members, and press secretaries doing Olympic-level gymnastics to explain his mistakes. Every time Biden turns to leave the stage, there's a real possibility he'll walk straight into the flag, the wall, or the nearest band member. And yet, some news channels still react like he just completed a scientific discovery. Greg ended the bit by tearing into Biden's attempts to relate to everyday people. And the audience couldn't stop laughing at how dramatically disconnected those moments truly look.
But what if the Biden cover-up was by design, orchestrated to protect not the president, but to enable a radical agenda? Anyone could tell Joe was feeble. But what if Biden's decline wasn't caused by disability, but by debility, meaning he was purposely kept exhausted, confused, and miserable, like an overnight shift worker or a Fox and Friends viewer?
Gutfeld couldn't stop laughing as he destroyed Biden's attempts to present himself as a working-class guy, even while being spotted at glamorous billionaire fundraising events and shopping for fancy smelling candles in Delaware like a weekend activity. He joked that Biden talking about blue-collar struggles is like a reality TV star claiming they understand being homeless because they once stayed in a slightly less expensive hotel room for one night. It's all acting with absolutely no real connection behind it. And Greg made the crowd burst out laughing at how obvious it appears. He also made fun of Biden's awkward social media videos, those stiff, overly practiced clips where he holds an ice cream cone or stares at the camera like he's trying to remember what year he's supposed to say it is. Greg joked that the videos looked like retirement community advertisements more than leadership messages, which had the audience exploding with laughter. He added that if Biden ever joined TikTok, his challenge would definitely be called Find the Exit. And as the crowd erupted with laughter, Greg kept smiling because this wasn't just comedy. It was a moment of relief where people could laugh through the confusion and tiredness of the times. Meanwhile, somewhere behind the stage, Biden was still asking someone where Air Force One might be parked.